Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our Father's Kitchen here at St. Mary's. And so we are blessed today because we have another wonderful selection prepared for all of you to learn how to make. And actually, I'm going to learn how to make these today. The Hawaiian ham and Swiss slider. I've never made them. This is a Jordan specialty.
Well, so guys, I'm so excited about these because this is my tried and true recipe that I go to. You know how you're asked to bring food for parties, potlucks, things for the church? And so this is my go-to because even the pickiest of eaters love these sliders. So this is my go-to whenever I need to feed a crowd, and so I'm excited to share it with you guys.
That's awesome.
But we also are very fortunate because we have a special guest with us, Father.
Yes, we do. We have a special guest with us today. We'd like to introduce, everyone already knows, Barb Lochner.
Who doesn't know Barb
Lochner? But Barb is with us today here in our kitchen.
I love that face.
Today kicks off the novena to the Sacred Heart of Jesus because next Friday we will be celebrating the Solemnity of the Sacred Heart in the church. And so we are preparing for that celebration by enthroning Jesus in our parishes during the Sacred Heart novena. So we're inviting everyone to come out and join us every evening for this novena to the Sacred Heart. Because this is what we do as missionaries of the Sacred Heart, right, Barb? In our parishes for those who would like to have their homes enthroned. And so we're blessed. And maybe, Barb, if you just, for those at home and those watching who don't know Barb Lochner, maybe if you could just give us a little information about yourself.
So basically, my family, they're like, who's Barb? I'm like, hold on. So please, if you would, share a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. We put her on the spot, folks.
Yeah.
It's what we do here in our kitchen.
Yeah, raise that go.
Well, I've been a member of this parish for 44 years.
Wow.
44 years.
Wow.
Andy and I started at Holy Redeemer, but we ended up over here.
Ah.
Have loved every minute of it. I'm not knocking Holy Redeemer, don't get me down.
Oh, there you go. I'm just saying.
But people know me because of the music. I did your job for 24 years.
Yes.
Loved every minute of it.
Absolutely.
It was big shoes to walk into. Big shoes. And how many kids do you have?
5 children.
5. And grandkids?
12 grandchildren.
Wow. That's awesome. That's so fun. That's so fun. That's so fun. So, great. So, there we go, guys.
Well, we're going to get to talk to Barb a lot during this day because she is one of the missionaries of the Sacred Heart here in our parishes. And she travels with Nancy Keller and others to prepare families for the enthronement of the Sacred Heart in our parishes. So this will give you a taste of what it means for Sacred Heart enthronement, how you can, we'll get information today about how you can invite the Sacred Heart and the Immaculate Heart of Mary into your families. And then also, we're going to model it here during our Holy Hour for the next 9 days. So it's pretty awesome. And then we'll also give you a way that on Saturday and Sunday, when we don't have a Holy Hour, that you can still pray the prayers of the enthronement while we're having a busy weekend, because this weekend is busy, folks, because we have First Communion on Friday and Saturday. And we'll make an announcement about that before we leave today, because there's not going to be a Holy Hour on Saturday or Friday night because of First Communion. We'll live stream First Communion. And then there's going to be First Communion on Saturday, so there's no 9 a.m. Mass on Saturday. We're going to repeat that before we leave today.
Yes.
But there's a lot going on this weekend.
We'll get you all covered.
Plus,
Don't
it's the
worry.
solemnity of Corpus Christi and our procession.
Yes.
So
I mean, let's just add to this, right?
exactly. Let's just add to all the things we're doing.
Right. So, before we do that, though, we need a drink.
Please. Let's have a drink. I've been waiting all afternoon because we tried these. Remember, we try everything before we send it out to you.
Yes.
And last night we tried it, and these were fantastic.
I enjoyed these
we
immensely.
even got a fish bowl, Jordan.
I'm so excited about this, guys. Okay, so we are doing something that's a little over the top. It's a little ridiculous, but I kind of love it because of that. So
Because
it's
Jordan's
a-
never over the top or anything. She never
and
does
ridiculous,
anything over the top.
And like, that's just not how I am.
If you know Jordan.
Right. Anyway, so we are doing a fishbowl daiquiri.
Now let me point out, this is not the fishbowl of Portsmouth's daiquiri.
Oh right. Oh, that's a good distinction.
This
That's a good distinction.
is-
That's a good
This
distinction.
is St. Mary's in Portsmouth
Right.
fishbowl.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So let's
And
just
so
be
let's
clear.
clarify
Before,
that.
I mean, right, they may have good wings,
Right.
but this is our daiquiri.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to read off.
How about you read it off and I'll put it in the blender.
I think that's a great idea.
Great
I was going
idea.
to suggest that.
Good.
Okay, here you go. Have that. Thank
Have
you.
that.
All right. So our first layer is actually, I did it wrong last night. So we need to do the strawberries first.
Great, sounds wonderful.
So let's do it. So for the strawberry layer of our frozen daiquiri, we're going to have 2 cups of frozen strawberries. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to hand you a white rum. So, would you like some Captain or would you like some still rights?
I like the still rice.
Okay, let's do the still rights.
Still rice. And
So,
how much?
you're going to need a half a cup of the white rum.
Okay.
Or until
And
it tastes good.
or until it tastes good. And and also just so that way it's said out loud, because there are some people who really just diligently follow recipes. Father Joe and I don't operate that way. We don't operate that way. We're not very good at following recipes. And then vanilla syrup, but we're using regular simple syrup. Use what you have on hand, guys. So we're just using a half a cup of simple syrup here today. And then you're going to blend all that up and pour it all as your first layer in your fishbowl.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what we do. I love it.
I
Can you hear it?
love ninjas. Guys, if you can't get a ninja, it makes a huge difference. I really do think that ninja blenders make a huge difference, guys. If you can, go for it.
Let's do it.
Cool. So as he's pouring that into our fishbowl,
Where did I put the fish?
it's right there.
There it
It's
is.
hiding.
It's hiding.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, whatever floats. And let me talk about this next layer. It's a pineapple layer. Here's the thing.
That
This is
doesn't
going.
look like a lot.
It doesn't at all.
No.
Should we do another round?
Let's do
of it?
another round of it.
Okay, great. So I'll read it off again. So it's 2 cups of frozen strawberries.
Absolutely.
It's
Or
a,
maybe 4 cups. Just kidding.
whatever, right? We're winging this, guys. It's great. So a half a cup of white rum, or until it tastes good,
Still tastes good.
and then a half a cup of the syrup,
Okay.
and a blend again. So let me talk about this pineapple layer real quick. This is going to either be a great thing or a not great thing, depending on where you stand.
Gonna be loud.
And blending.
Makes it noisy. I love it.
I love it. You know it's working.
Something's happening.
Hey, right, you know it's working.
Something is
because it's
happening.
loud. I love it.
Just like weed whacking.
That's really what it is. And that's really why you like operating that. That's really what it is. It's loud
It's a
and
tool
it's
and it's
like
loud.
loud. So anyway,
Oh, that looks better.
All right.
So this pineapple layer, it has coconut rum in it. Now, if you are not a coconut person, my dad, for example, he would immediately say no. The minute that he hears that it has coconut, he would say no. So if you're not a coconut person, use just white rum. Use whatever rum you have on hand. We're going to we're going to go ahead and use coconut rum today. But if you're not a coconut person, then leave it out. Leave it out. It's not going to be a big deal. But anyway,
Cool.
so pineapple. Let's talk
Pineapple, let's do it.
So for this layer, we're going to need 4 cups of frozen pineapples.
Great.
Frozen pineapples? Frozen pineapple. Not frozen.
Good job.
I don't
Did
know
you get it
words.
at Kroger's?
I don't. I got it at the Walmart.
The
By the selection by Kroger.
Yeah.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was looking. Anyway, all that to say, 2 cups of ice, along with that, and then I forgot something.
Uh-oh.
So we also need. Oh, do you want to throw this in there? Just because this is from last night. We could do that.
Yeah.
And so I need. Where did it go? There it is. I need pineapple juice, and I got the fancy stuff.
Oh
So,
my.
Yeah, I got the
Wow.
fancy.
Just pineapple.
So we're gonna need a cup of the pineapple juice,
Okay.
and then last but not least, we're gonna need 2 cups of rum. Now you can choose whether you use coconut rum.
Can we split it half and half and do 1 cup coconut and 1 cup?
Absolutely, sure. Let's do it.
Let's try it.
So which one do you want?
We're gonna do blue chair.
I like the blue chair personally. Like I prefer it to the Malibu. It hasn't been
We'll
all the
just
light.
have a little bit of
That's it, yeah.
And I think
And
we're
then-
gonna use the pineapple rum.
Ooh.
I like the dark.
We're changing it
I'm
up.
gonna change it up here just a little bit.
Yeah, we need 2 cups in total.
Sure we do.
And a little for, extra, right?
And a little pinch to grow an inch.
And then we put it all together.
If Gus is watching, that was a pinch to grow an inch.
Yes, there you go.
There you go, it is. Okay, blend.
Blend.
Blended. I love it.
There we go. Good.
There's still some chunks in the bottom. Gotta get all the chunks.
Yeah. Did you throw the ice in?
You think I would forget the ingredients? What kind of show is this?
Oh my goodness.
Somebody's got to keep you in line around here.
Exactly.
This is his first rodeo.
It's there's still got a pineapple. It's not
Yeah, we've got stubborn pineapple, people. Stubborn pineapple.
stubborn pineapple. Ah.
It's not interested.
Okay.
Here we go. And
This is a
then,
little thinner.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's go for it. Let's do it. And then,
It
okay.
went to there
Okay.
it is.
And there it is.
Wow.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa!
Guys, can you guys
Wow.
see this?
Who'da
Okay.
thunk it?
So, I think yeah.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Isn't that
That's
nice?
amazing.
Okay.
Isn't that great? I kind of like it. It's fun. And so I
A
think
sticky mess.
I think the intention is with this fishbowl daiquiri is that this is supposed to be like a group drink, and you stick your individual straws in.
But today we just brought straws for ourselves.
Right. So we're going to ladle and then put it in various cups.
Ladle,
So-
ladle.
ladle.
Made it out of clay.
So we have here some pineapple mugs.
Oh, I need
Oh, you need a towel. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay.
It's over the bowl.
Okay.
It's
Uh-huh.
alright. Exactly.
Thank you.
This.
I guess we should get some for others. Wouldn't that be a good?
Yeah, it would
oh,
be.
I guess I could do this.
Maybe.
All right. So hold on. I need cups. Who else would like one? Would you? No. Yeah. I know that Father Tom would like one. Paul, do you want one? Yes. Okay. Great.
Okay, we don't have an audience today.
So.
Our audience usually comes and joins us. So
Oh, duh. I can't do an empty one.
here, give Father Tuttle an empty one.
I don't know.
We'll send him out with
I'm
an
just
empty
gonna keep
glass.
drinking.
So
Don't
I
mind
brought
me.
mine on somewhere.
Tray.
No,
No.
it's a
No
ladle
tray.
without a spout.
This looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It does smell good,
It
doesn't
smells
it?
amazing.
All right. And then, Paul
Thank you.
This is a great daiquiri to make for kids too, without the rum. Without the rum.
Yes.
This is yeah, unless you want to send them to bed early.
Cheers.
Right? Cheers. Here we go. Good choice on yes.
I like this.
So
I
do
like
I.
this a lot.
It's
this-
not. Last night it was overwhelmingly too much coconut.
And so again, if you're not a coconut person,
Right.
it would deter you. But I think having it was a good idea
Yes.
for us.
I'm not a coconut person, but this is trouble.
Yeah,
This
it's
This
tasty.
is double trouble.
Yeah.
This is
Scary
so
good. This is
tasty.
Perfect
That's
summer
something you
drink.
drink a whole lot.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
This is dangerous.
Wowzers.
So, very good. Oh man. Okay, so this is gonna be so good. So let's talk.
It is already so good. No matter what happens next, I don't care.
Who's keeping track? I
Who's
don't
keeping
know.
track? I don't know.
And so, anyway, let's talk sandwiches.
Let's
guys.
talk sandwiches. Let's go to watch. See if all these people who
Oh,
are
right,
watching
yes.
with us today. No
Yes.
other comments. Just saying hello.
Okay.
People are watching. Got about 38 folks with us today.
Great, great. Oh, guys, if you would, in the comments below. So, do you have any questions about the Sacred Heart? Like, what questions do you have for us? Like, we're open to answer questions.
Not exactly.
I
know
think we are.
Barb. We brought Barb here for a reason. to
Right,
answer all the
exactly.
questions.
Right. So, if you have questions, we're going to talk about it more, of course.
Yeah.
But if you have questions in particular, please throw them down below. I am.
You're covering your face. That's what you're doing.
Hello, goodbye. Hello, goodbye.
Wow.
Thanks, Martha. Martha Stewart would never cover her face if she were doing her
Never.
It's worth $1 trillion. You can't.
I don't think. Never mind. Anyway, so let's spray these pans. I'm gonna spray them, and then Father, if you would put
Mhm.
one, and then
What are we
one-
putting in here, Jordan?
Oh, I'm sorry. So we're putting these King's Hawaiian buns, sliders. That they come in a variety of
They come in a big
sizes.
bag.
And these are the 24 pack. And this recipe accommodates that. So then what you're gonna do is you are going to be in charge of. I'm gonna put you in charge of the ham one.
Okay, because
And
remember,
then-
I'm learning today. This is
Oh.
something first for me. I've never done this before.
I keep on forgetting that you haven't.
Right,
done
I've never done this. It's so
Okay.
simple, but
Yeah,
I've never done it.
it's-
We've had a couple of questions about people tuning in. They want to know again what you're making. Can you repeat?
Oh, great! I can do that. So, guys, we're making Hawaiian sliders, and it's from the King's Hawaiian Bread website. So if you go to Google and throw that in, you can find this recipe there. And of course, remember though, as Father Joe and I are cooking, we don't follow recipes very well.
Not very well
So take that as we are going our way through this. That we kind of behave ourselves, but not really when it comes to recipes.
Right, and someone asked about the brace. I know you can see it. All right, so I have what's called I've had a little bit to drink, not really.
No.
It's hard to say, but it's really an inflammation in the tendons in my wrist, and I can't bend my wrist forward and back and forth. So it has to be stabilized at the moment. I just talked to my doctor, and it's not a lot of fun. So Jordan just made a face. You ripped the bag. She missed the Ziploc part, folks. So I got it on the first try. But now it doesn't work because there's a big hole in there. This is Cooking with Jordan. Broken.
Yeah, this is just how I cook, folks. I
Right.
get in it though. I do eventually get in the package. It does happen. So anyway, so
What am I going to do with the ham, Jordan?
Wow.
you're gonna put the ham on the bread.
Okay,
Amazing.
now do I fold the ham or do you want it folded?
Oh, just flat.
Okay.
Don't make it complicated.
Oh,
No,
see,
no, no.
I'd like to add more meat
Oh,
because
then
I
you can
thought.
layer it.
I
You can layer it.
I thought we needed layers last night.
Oh well.
So
let's see.
this is me improving the recipe that
There
you're
it is.
doing.
Oh, all right.
So,
all right.
there we go. How about
Okay.
that?
Improving now.
We are just making changes to
Wow.
it. Just
Uh-huh.
making changes to it.
And
Now I need to make sure we have enough, right?
Well, because I'm going to do turkey over here.
Oh, that's right. I've got ham all I
So,
want.
yeah, so you get to do all the ham you want.
Get all the
And
ham.
so, while he's doing that, I'm going to take this other thing of
Mhm.
bread. Excuse me, pardon.
Should have. There we go.
Oh, did I ruin it? Oopsies.
No,
Did we lose one?
I'll just put it on here.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Well, I think you gave me the defective one on purpose.
Oh, I sure did. It's actually cut right. It's cut twice.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, So
It's all good.
It's fine. I'll make it work. It's fine. So while he's doing the ham, I'm gonna do the turkey. And so one of the beauties of this recipe is that if you are serving people that don't like ham, because there are people out there who are like, ham, not really my thing. Turkey is a great substitute for these sandwiches. And so I'm going to be doing that. We're also, I'm going to be doing a riff on the recipe. It was a grand experiment last night. I wanted to see if we could use some hot honey in this.
Because remember, we discovered hot honey
Yeah,
like last week, right?
And it's so good. This is the brand that we really like. It's Mike's Hot Honey infused with chilies, and it's really good. It is quite spicy. So if you are not a fan of spice,
It'll knock your mama out.
It will, and then some. So what we're doing is we're putting our various meats on the bread.
Did it?
You done?
Done.
Great. So now you need cheese.
Okay, now we're going to the cheese. And the cheese we are using is a Swiss cheese,
Yes.
right from the deli. Choose your favorite.
Yes.
Right, I like a fine lacy Swiss cheese. This is a bit holier. I like it.
You know,
This looks
we're
good.
aiming for holy things. around here, aren't we?
Exactly. We are aiming
You
for
know.
holiness, right? And
Yeah,
that is
right.
that is our parish desire is that we are growing saints, right?
Priest joke of the day, Barb.
There it
You
is.
love it.
There it
You love
is. There it is.
You gotta love it.
Yeah. See? You know, I got it in, guys. I got it in. Anyway, so
Beautiful.
there we go. So Swiss cheese, and feel free to be as generous with the cheese as you would like.
I have just enough to do it.
And let's see. I'm gonna go.
Hey, there's Rose. Rose just
See you.
joined in.
Oh, hi.
Have an audience.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that. So we've got cheese, we got ham down. Now I'm assuming it's mayo.
Yes, and you can. Okay, so the recipe says that you should use a third of a cup. I think that no.
What's a third of a cup of mayo?
Exactly. Who's going to do a third of a cup? You should put as much as you want.
Slop it. Slop it.
So I'm a big fan of mayonnaise, so I'm pretty generous with mayo.
I
But
like it slopping out the sides.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan. And, and
Paul doesn't like
I
it.
love
Paul
that.
does. Yes.
Slopping out the side.
Exactly. It's a great
Oh,
image,
yeah.
isn't it?
Mayonnaise is delicious.
Yes. And so yeah, I'm a huge fan.
As it slurries out the sides,
There you go.
slithers off. Exactly. Slithers off.
Okay, and then
Yummy.
you put the top on.
Oh, then the top. Okay.
Okay.
Look at this.
And then-
Perfecto.
There you go. And then from there,
Yeah.
this is where we get into kind of the topping portion. And I'm going to give you the big bowl. And so basically from here, this is where you get to do what is essentially the drizzle that comes over top all of these slices. The drizzle. And so in this, we're putting some Dijon mustard. I went fancy because I like the country Dijon. Use whatever.
I like Grey Poupon.
I like the Grey Poupon. If I'm gonna pick one,
Somebody's used this one. Oh, this is a used one.
yeah, because I used it last night.
That's good.
And here you go, have a spoon. And it says 1.5
Do I mix it in
tablespoons.
the butter?
Yeah, put it in the butter. And so
How much does it say?
1.5
I doubt it.
tablespoons. But you know, again, put as much as you want. Anyway,
Exactly.
and so,
Who doesn't like the Dijon?
Oh, you gotta love the Grey Poupon.
and then.
Bonamine, do you have any Grey Poupon?
Why, of course.
What of course? We are French. Pardon, oui.
And then.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Oh man. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do some like cheddar
Going shredded
and.
cheddar on your turkey?
Yes, I'm going
Okay.
shredded cheddar because that's what I got.
Interesting.
And then
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna put maybe a couple of Swiss, maybe.
So they're asking us to do a COVID cookbook. Is there a COVID cookbook coming out?
Man, now that's a thought.
I know.
I don't know. We could.
I don't know either.
Yes, yeah.
We've got in design.
Oh,
We do.
oh, we have the technology, guys. We could
Ooh,
possibly
you know what? Oh, I think that needs a little bit more Grey Poupon.
Yeah. Okay, go for it. Great.
I think so.
Just so you know, you got to add more stuff to that. Just,
I know we're not done yet,
okay,
right?
great. No, we're not done yet.
Okay.
I'm just warning
What's
you.
coming next?
Okay, so next you need some poppy seeds.
Poppy seeds.
And this is just for crunch. That's really all it is.
Poppy seeds.
And I lied. No, you don't want that. You want this. You want onion powder.
Okay.
And it says that you use a tablespoon. Again, use to your discretion. I really like onion powder, so I kind of just roll with it.
How do you get onion powder, Jordan?
You dehydrate onions.
Okay.
And then pulverize them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all that it is.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds
Do you-
great. I don't have onion powder in my shelf.
Really? You
No.
don't?
I don't have onion
we
powder.
need to like up your spice
I know.
here a little bit.
Well,
need to, like,
apparently
work
we
on
need
that.
to go to the pharmacy here. The pharmacy in
Yes, the
Portsmouth.
pharmacy. Guys, you need to go. Like, it's a super cute little shop. And support local food. It's here in town. I don't know the street. They have a Facebook page.
Barb knows.
6th Street.
Chrissy just went today.
Oh, great. Okay, it's on 6th Street, guys.
That's why we keep Barb around.
Exactly. She tells us things. She keeps us in
By
line.
the bank.
It's across from Asa and Jewelis. I don't know. Where Babcock's used to be.
It's it's a brick building all by itself. It's like a brick house kind of thing.
Okay.
And
Nice.
so, and then you also need some Worcestershire sauce.
Wushan Shashar.
Cheshire sauce.
It's not Irish.
That you need this.
Absolutely.
You need this. Oh man, the seminarians are here, folks. Oh man. So,
You put just some of that in there.
I'm about ready to put them to work. Anyway, so, and then mayonnaise.
Watch it.
And then, let's see. And then once you're done with all
Yeah.
that, you can drizzle.
I can drizzle after that.
Yeah.
Finally, I can
Yes,
drizzle.
You're allowed to drizzle.
I'm
now.
allowed to drizzle.
You're allowed. I know. You've been excited ever since the word
I have been.
drizzle.
Wow, that's
It's
yummy.
potent, isn't it? It's potent.
Yummy.
And so then, quite literally,
I
you go-
can't. Can I just throw it in the middle and then spatula it out, rather than just drizzle? Because this isn't like drizzly consistency.
I think it's like you can.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I don't know.
But
I don't think so. We're gonna try it.
okay.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you can go like down the individual lines.
This
like,
is.
oh, okay. This is why. Okay, this is why the confusion lies. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So,
This is not drizzly consistency.
yeah, you're how much did you put in?
That's enough.
Okay, great. So.
Don't just let it be. This is yeah.
I'm gonna just let you do
Exactly.
For creation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. This
this. I'm gonna
is
finish
great.
off the mayonnaise jar.
Let it go.
Let it go.
There you go. Sing it, Barb.
There you go. Yeah, frozen time. Oh my. So I'm gonna
Exactly.
continue on with my mayo here.
As you're slathering on the,
Yeah.
The slurry of
we've
mayo.
had a constant question, Barb, directed to you. Why would one consider consecrating or enthroning the heart of Jesus in their home? Can you explain a little about what it is and what the process
And
is?
they wanted to know specifically how that relates to your family, what effect, like why.
There's a simple version and there's a more complicated. But the simple version is, it's a simple act of adoration where you put Jesus as head of your home. We all spend money on security systems and we put locks on the doors and you do everything you can to keep your family safe. Well, this is our safety net. Jesus
Thanks.
There you go.
we're welcoming Jesus
We're welcoming Jesus. Amen to that.
Yeah.
into the heart of your family.
Yes.
And, with all the uncertainties of the world the way they are, especially right now, I think we could all use a little more. Actually, we could all use a lot more Jesus in our lives.
Hey.
Heard that.
It's true that. I'm gonna take that.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Where did the devotion come from and how did it how do you get involved?
Well, it started year 1673.
Right.
Want to tell a story?
Father, so get involved.
Raise it, go.
Jesus was appearing to a French nun,
A visitation nun.
French nun of the Visitation, Order of the Visitation, named Saint Margaret Mary. Is it Alacoque? Is that how you pronounce it?
Alacoque.
Thank you. And she was receiving apparitions from Jesus himself. And he told her, actually, at the time, well, when this happened, she told her confessor, her spiritual director at the time, and he, who is now a saint, was Father Claude de Colombier at the time. And she would walk up to his house every couple of weeks at the rectory, have the spiritual direction. She started telling him, I'm having visions of Jesus. And of course, the priest at first was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Sure
So
you
then,
are.
you know, after a while, she kept saying, so finally he said, you know what? If Jesus is actually appearing to you, the next time he appears to you, I want you to ask him a question. She said, okay, Father, what do you want me to ask him? Ask him what my last mortal sin was. So, sure enough, 2 weeks later, Sister Margaret Mary at the time came back, and she said, she had the spiritual direction meeting. Father Claude said, she said, Jesus appeared to me again. He said, okay, what did you ask the question I asked you? Yes, I asked Jesus, and what did he say? And St. Margaret Mary said that when she asked Jesus what his last mortal sin was, Jesus said, I don't know, because he went to confession. So it shows the power and the mercy of the sacrament of confession of the Sacred Heart. And within these visions, Jesus encouraged St. Margaret Mary. He asked for devotion to his Sacred Heart for all families and throughout the world. And also we got First Friday devotions from...
And there are
St.
12
Margaret.
promises, right? 12 promises that Jesus made to St. Margaret Mary in the book. Maybe if we want to read those off. This is the spiritual help that Jesus has given in a very tumultuous time in the world, right? So we are in a very tumultuous time right now. Look at the things that have been going on around our country. Look at the violence and the protesting. And the world needs the promise of the Sacred Heart. The world needs the promise of divine mercy in our lives right now. So what are those 12 promises?
Very powerful. First, number 1, I will give them all the graces necessary for their state in life. Number 2, I will give peace to their families. We all need
Who doesn't
that.
need that? Who doesn't
Yes.
want help for their station, their vocation in life?
Yes.
I need all the help I can get to be a priest
Yep.
every day.
Whether you're-
Yikes.
Number 3, I will console them in all their troubles. Number 4, they shall find in my heart an assured refuge during life, and especially at the hour of death. Number 5, I will pour abundant blessings on all their undertakings. Boy, how we need that.
Well, I need blessings under the undertaking of making this Hawaiian dish.
Number 6,
He loves cooking with me.
I do.
sinners shall find in my heart the source, an infinite ocean of mercy. Number 7, tepid souls shall become fervent. Number 8, fervent souls shall speedily rise to great perfection. Number 9, I will bless the homes in which the image of my Sacred Heart shall be exposed and honored.
Right.
We have an example back here.
Right, exactly. Here's the Sacred Heart here in the kitchen.
You can use any image. We also provide them, but that is a perfect example of one. Number 10, I will give priests the power to touch the most hardened hearts. Number 11, those who propagate this devotion shall have their name written in my heart, and it shall never be effaced. And
Wow.
finally, the all-powerful love of my heart will grant to all those who shall receive communion on the first Friday of 9 consecutive months the grace of final repentance. They shall not die under my displeasure, not without receiving their sacraments. My heart shall be their assured refuge at the last hour.
Right. And that's a beautiful promise there, especially right now in our, because we're doing our best to get the sacraments out to everyone to be there, especially at the end of life. But certainly we've been restricted. You know, even even if somebody were going to surgery today, we're only restricted going into the hospital for end of life issues, right?
Mhm.
So but then, I always entrust that person to the Sacred Heart, whom I know. So, Jordan, before we get back to the Sacred Heart, what are we doing here?
What's those black dots?
What did we put on top?
Oh, okay. We put on top poppy seeds. Hence why I was like, you know what? Let's just sprinkle them on top instead of throwing them in the drizzle.
Exactly.
Just makes more sense. But then also, just so you guys know, on my variation over here, I decided to throw in the hot honey.
She threw in all the hot honey.
I did. And so this is going to be a grand experiment. I don't really know how this is going to turn out. It may be beautiful. It may be a little spicy. We'll find out. Anyway, so
Slap the old mama hot.
yeah, it may be deliciously hot.
It may be.
Anyway, so now what we're doing is we are covering these with foil, and they need to sit in the fridge for about 10 minutes. And
Okay.
so after,
What's the importance of putting them into the fridge?
well, one to just keep them cool, but also two, what we're
That's
doing.
a good reason.
But also too, we're letting the drizzle soak into the bread.
Oh, there we go.
And,
There you go.
and so, like, the fridge is just a place to put it. I just figured the fridge because it's kind of hot in here, guys.
Yeah.
It's really toasty in here.
Can we
because
make
the
sure
ovens,
the air is back on
yeah,
again?
because the ovens are on and like the
Green
burners
spot,
are
yeah,
on,
it's on,
and
yeah.
so it's really warm. So I just think it would be a good idea to put these in the fridge. Anyway, so
We're going to put these on the palms, so
Yeah.
they'll be nice and ready for the weekend.
Sure.
They'll be nice and flat because we're going to give them out because it's Corpus Christi weekend. Seems like a good time to give out some palms,
sure, why not?
right? So we can all praise Jesus. So maybe Barb, you can tell us a little bit how the Sacred Heart has impacted your life, and why you have become such a big promoter of the Sacred Heart.
Nancy Keller was actually the one that started this.
Right.
She was getting promptings from the Lord to do this, and then we went to Europe with you
Right.
2 years ago,
Yeah.
and to the actual place.
Right,
where
we
this
were in
all began.
Paray-le-Monial. Paray-le-Monial is where, in France, is where the Visitation Convent was, where St. Margaret Mary, we got to see Margaret Mary up close in person. We got to go visit her spiritual director's tomb, St. Claude de Colombier. We were there. We were right there at the heart, the epicenter of the Sacred Heart devotion.
So she came up and she said, "We've got to do this." And
Right.
being a good friend, I said, "I'll help.
All help, right?
I'll help."
Yeah.
So we did. So, pre-COVID is different than now because
Sure.
Nancy and I would go to the homes and spend the day, the evening, and because there's a 7-day preparation, you prepare yourself in prayer
Sure.
for the actual enthronement. So we walked them through. We did the Litany of the Sacred Heart. We said a rosary, and there's some other prayers. And we saw a video, and some of you might remember Stosh Daly was a seminarian at Monicus.
Yep, with Father Matt.
So he's the chaplain of Sacred Heart Columbus.
Yeah.
So he's got a little video, and he's wonderful.
Yes.
But we saw changes in people. We saw changes in people. Couples are
Just
praying.
in the 9-day preparation.
Just in the preparation.
Yeah.
I loved it when we would get to the actual enthronement, and it was inevitable. It wasn't the women; it was the men.
What was the men?
You'd
Yeah.
see they recited all the prayers, and you'd see tears.
Yeah.
The peace in your families. Most of the people that have the enthronement can attest to that. That's a
Sure.
and like I said, who doesn't want
Right.
peace in your
Right, and it's not just a one-time thing either, right? It's so
Right.
you don't just do the enthronement over 9 days and woohoo, we've got
Right,
Jesus
it's not a check
enthroned.
mark.
Right, it's not a
on,
check
you
mark,
know,
right?
on your list of
It's
things.
something that you're
yeah.
instructed to live every day,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Yes.
It's not the merit badge.
Right,
It's
yeah,
not
right.
the
It's
Sacred
not my
Heart
Boy Scout
merit
merit badge. It's not my Eagle Scout. It is woohoo! I've made it. I've done it. But it's something to be lived every day in your family, right? And promoting this with your children, with your grandchildren. And you're right. It's to see the changes in people's hearts. To see that when you're open to it, right?
Right.
When you're open and allowing yourself to be vulnerable to what Jesus and Mary desire for you and your family, That's why it's so important.
Oh,
And so, would you, if you're comfortable, Barb, would you mind sharing maybe a change that you've seen within your own family? That since going through this, has there been?
Yeah, we had some peace in our family.
Yeah, great, beautiful.
I can't share, but.
Sure, sure,
Right,
right.
And you know what? Andy and I would gather every morning. He'd come down, and I was already there, and we'd do the prayers together.
Right.
We never said the rosary together.
Mm.
And now, I don't know how many times I've said, we will get in the car, we're going somewhere, so let's say a rosary. He said, well, I've already said 2.
All right.
Well, going to Mount St. Mary's in Emmitsburg, whenever you were
Wow.
asked how many rosaries have you prayed today, you're always supposed to say, never enough.
There
Right?
you go.
Never
There
enough.
you go. There you go. There you go.
The strength for me is helping other people do
Sure,
this.
exactly.
It's been such a blessing.
Mm.
We've made good friends that will be now even better friends.
Sure.
Right, because it becomes a community event
Right.
for inviting families over to want to share what you've done. Because you're excited.
Right.
You're excited to share with others in the community, in our parish community, and in your own personal communities at home. That's your
Friends are
support
great.
group.
Friends are great.
Friends are great.
Friends in Christ.
Friends in Christ,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
are for life, are forever.
Right. And speaking of sharing all of that, there's inevitably like some sort of party usually afterwards, like with drinks and fellowship and all of that. It sounds like you guys have a great time. That's what
We
it
do
sounds
have
like.
a great
Well,
time when we do an enthronement.
It's not necessary to have a priest.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no.
But when we posed this to them, they
Mhm.
said, we want to be part of this, which I think is so much.
Right.
And because it's beautiful for us to be able to come into your homes, right? I
Right.
mean, that's really one of our responsibilities as priests to make home visits like this, to visit you when we're doing these Sacred Heart visits, right? Because you're inviting the image of Christ in the community into your home as you are enthroning the image of Christ into your family.
So since we can't do this like we had been doing
Right.
it, actually the diocese has stepped up,
Yes, they have.
and do we have that posted on the website?
Yeah, it is posted. We posted it before on Facebook, and we'll make sure it's up there again. Because the prayers for the consecration are available on the website at sciotocatholic.org. And also, we posted them on Facebook. We posted them other places, so you can get a hold of them. You actually can go to Sacred Heart Columbus and look and Google that and get the prayers that you can do this on your own at home. Because right now we're not allowed into people's homes to do the enthronement. But hopefully soon we will be back up and running again.
Well, the website is actually welcomehisheart.com.
Welcome His Heart. Yes.
There's options. And Nancy and I would love if you have any questions to call. We would still be able,
Mhm.
willing, and love to help
Right, exactly.
you do this.
Awesome.
So in between this, Jordan, you've taken something out of the refrigerator.
Yes, I did. I took the sandwiches out because I realized we're kind of we're running on time here, and so I'm skipping ahead a little bit. So you would let that sit in for 10 minutes, right, and let it all
Right.
soak in. But I wanted to be sure to show you guys a finished product, or at least that's my goal, is to show you all a finished product.
Absolutely.
And so I'm skipping ahead, sticking them both in the oven. We're gonna stick them in covered for about 10 minutes. You're supposed to then uncover and then let it cook for another 2, just to brown it off and everything. And then voila, sliders. That's all I did.
That's what Jordan's been up to.
Yeah, I'm just,
Watching
don't
it.
mind me.
Don't mind Jordan.
me.
Don't
Don't
mind.
mind me.
Right, and the
It's
oven's
fine.
at 350.
Yes, oven's
10 minutes
350.
covered.
Yes,
10 minutes uncovered.
2.
2 minutes uncovered.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. And so hopefully we'll have some sliders to show you all.
Exactly. Now, what did you bring with you today? You've got a book here that you're holding.
Well, this is what we did.
Okay,
We
that's
used to. This is the old book.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the preparation and the consecration itself.
Right.
Beautiful.
And so when we actually come to the homes to do this on the enthronement day, there is a series of prayers that we pray together, and we divvy them up between mom and dad, husband and wife in the home, and then also if there are children present, then those are are divvied up between the children who are present, and then also the Sacred Heart missionary who's been part of the preparation.
I want to read one of the prayers.
Absolutely.
This is one of the prayers.
Nice and loud so they can hear, Barb.
I want to save you and your family from the evil forces working to destroy you and your family, to liberate parents and children from the slavery of sin and the shackles of fear, depression, and worry. I am ready to release in your home the power of my spirit, the healer, the consoler, the sanctifier, the teacher. But my people, I will not force my way into your heart or your home. I want to be invited. I am waiting to hear from you.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. But I think this is a great reminder to all of us. Jesus knocks at the door, right, to our hearts, and he's waiting for us to open, right? And so it's important, that we make the move, right? Jesus doesn't force himself into our lives. He doesn't force himself into our hearts. We have to take the step to invite him in, right? He invites us by our own will, by our own intellect, to make that decision and choice for ourselves, to want to desire it. St. Augustine always said, Lord, give me the desire to want to desire what you want for me, right? So we have to want the desire. And for some of us, we have to want the desire, right? We have to keep going, right? So it is, we're all in different places. But if you're looking at a place to start, this is a place to start for your lives, for your spiritual lives, for your family. And I don't care what age you find it. It's at the right time of your life when you do, right? So I think I really believe that. Some people have said, I wish I would have known about this when I was younger. But the problem is that maybe you weren't ready, and maybe you found it right now, and maybe this is your time. And so if you feel the Lord pulling at your heart, then it's usually a pretty good sign to say, okay, Lord, what is it that you desire of me? What do you want? He's knocking. He's making the invitation.
There is no downside.
No downside to this.
It is
Zero.
all good.
It is.
All good.
Absolutely. But it means making the investment, right? You have to make the investment. I smell some bread.
Yeah,
I
do you
some
smell
bread.
it?
I do. I smell some cooking going on over here.
Let's see. Ooh, let me check some questions.
And also, just another thing too, Barb. Not only are you involved with the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart here as being a missionary in promoting this, you're also over one of the biggest corporations in Scioto County, Claire's Closet, right? If you haven't been a part of or known the work that we've done at St. Francis Catholic Outreach Center, Claire's Closet is a huge entity because the money that's made at Claire's Closet goes to support the food bank.
It's the only money
It's the
coming in.
only money coming in. Except for the money that we made at the beginning of COVID, right?
Right.
We're up to $35,000
Right.
that we solicited from all of you, your generous hearts. But there is good news about Claire's, right?
We're coming back.
We're coming back.
There it is.
Claire's is going to be opening up
Uh-oh.
June 19th.
on the Feast of the Sacred Heart.
Hey!
The Feast of the Sacred Heart, right?
Mhm.
So Clara is going. Sister Mary Clara or Sister Nancy Clara
Yeah,
is going to be back. She's going to
Right.
be back in action
Right.
again.
Yes.
And God bless everyone.
We have been accepting donations as people bring them. Not the drop box is not open.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good to
We
know.
found out how many people have been cleaning out their closets
Yes.
and their garages, and we don't have room
Right.
just yet. But if you will bring your stuff, because we know that everything's good, bring it to the St. Francis Center. Barb and Donna will let
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Good.
So maybe
If
For
you
now,
need-
just for now.
right. Should they call first or?
Well, no, they're there from
Okay.
Monday to
okay.
Friday.
Yeah, our seminarians are
Yeah.
working.
Yeah. They're
And
helping
we're
out.
putting they're part of our team
Yeah,
out there.
they're
They
helping
actually
out there.
showed up
Yeah.
to come join a little COVID
Hours?
curfew.
Yeah. What are the hours for that?
9 to
for
4?
people to donate?
To donate,
Yeah.
8 to 4,
8 to
Monday
4.
through Friday.
Okay. And how long is Claire's Closet open?
We are open Fridays and Saturdays. At this, we're not sure how this all gonna work.
Oh, okay,
just
okay,
yet,
okay.
But we have been open on Fridays and Saturdays from 9 to noon.
Okay, beautiful.
And until we figure out how to work this and how many people can come down at a time.
Right.
And everyone has to wear a
Right.
mask.
Right. All that.
Right. It's COVID has made our lives a bit complicated, if you can imagine, folks.
Yeah, and people have called me, and
Uh-huh.
I've met them up there and taken donations, so if you need to call me, that's okay too.
Right. Absolutely.
So just taking a look at comments here. So if someone wants more information, Julie Van Hoos, she asks, what do I have to do to enthrone to Jesus? Well, maybe.
Julie Van Hoos?
Yeah.
Julie Van Hoos knows everything about enthronement.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Julie.
So, yeah. So there we go.
She knows everything, if you
so,
want, yeah. She's awesome.
Right. So maybe like if people have more questions like about specifics, they should call you.
You know what?
Or should they call the
I don't
office?
know. They can, I don't know whether to give them my phone number or
We'll
what.
call the office.
Let's have them call the
Nancy and
office.
I will, yes, if you call the office, we will call you.
Just
There we
you
go.
can write it down: 740-354-4551. And you can reach us here at the office. Leave a message. Rose is out at the moment. We have a volunteer in and out this week. So you can leave a message in the general mailbox, and we will get back to you.
We will call you. We will definitely call you.
So, and then Pam Riepenhoff, she makes a comment here. Paul and I have our, sorry, let me try that again. Paul and I have our home enthroned. It has been wonderful. We do our prayers and rosary together every night, something that we had not previously been doing together. The daily prayers include a daily covenant renewal and prayer to the Sacred Heart, and she strongly recommends it. So that I thought that was a beautiful comment to share. And then that's it in terms of comments and questions at the moment.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I think this is important too because in seminary,
if you would please.
yeah, in seminary, we went to Pré-le-Monial. We did our retreat for ordination in Ars in France at the home of Saint John Vianney. And at the end of the retreat, we traveled to Pré-le-Monial, and we consecrated our priesthood to dedication to enthroning the Sacred Heart in our country, in our parishes, in our diocese. So this really is a fruition of the desire that all of my classmates in seminary felt as bringing the Sacred Heart and the devotion to the Sacred Heart stronger into our parishes, stronger into our families, stronger into the dioceses in which we have been called to serve. So I think it's so timely right now, especially in our world that is experiencing so much unrest. We are agitated by so many devils in our country. We are certainly encountering the power of the evil one right here in Scioto County, right? Even since COVID, the number of overdoses has only been on the increase, and we have children at home right now who are in abusive situations. We have so there's so many. There's so much unrest in our country, and there's so much unrest right here in Scioto County. So the more that we can do to bring Christ into our homes and into our families, the stronger Scioto County will become. We've been talking about that from the beginning, right? It's so important to bring Christ into our homes and into our communities. And the Catholic Church has, the beauty of our faith, the beauty of what Christ has given to us in the sacramental life, has given us his very body and blood, soul and divinity in the Holy Eucharist, and also he has given himself, and his mother has given herself in so many ways, has appeared around our world and even in our own country to bring the message of hope and peace to the lives of those who devote themselves to them, right? And so we are hoping that you will take advantage of all that we are offering, because it's not going away. The thing is what I also see I see the devotion of the Sacred Heart filling a place that we lost about 10 years ago when the sisters moved out. Right? When the sisters left, the Poor Clare sisters who were in the monastery where we are now serving our community at St. Francis Outreach Center, they were here praying for us to keep the evil one at bay. And when they left 10 years ago, it was a whole unleash of evil in our community. And so I believe that this devotion to the Sacred Heart, this enthronement to the Sacred Heart, is certainly what has been given to us by Jesus to help keep the evil one at bay in our community. And so that means all the more should we be taking advantage of this in our community. We should be taking advantage of this in our homes because this is what Jesus is inviting us to today and right now. Wow, Jordan. Look at these. These are pretty amazing looking.
I am so
They
excited.
smell amazing.
Yes.
Yes. So.
And even Finbar is barking
Yes,
because he
he
heard
is
Jordan
that-
just pull them out of the oven.
And so, therefore, he's excited too, right?
Exactly.
Obviously they're super hot at the moment, but is there a way that maybe we could
Yeah, we can just tilt them up there and
Pivot and
show
show,
them.
maybe?
Exactly.
I'm not quite sure if there's a good way to go about this.
Probably not. We'll get it all over the place.
Okay, can I do a little something
Yeah,
like that?
see, there we
Kinda
go.
like a little more?
Yeah, right there.
Okay, there we go. Can you guys see it?
There we are.
Yes.
Perfecto,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
So, yeah, up there, and of course, slice them up. Voila, sliders.
Voila, a little French there.
Yeah,
We've
voila.
got a little French cascade.
I'm covering all my
Oui,
bases.
oui, oui.
I'm covering all my bases
Well,
today.
Barb, do you have anything else to say about the Sacred Heart devotion and the enthronement in our parishes?
Do it.
Do it.
Mm.
Do it, folks. You heard it here.
It's
Do
all
it. It's
good.
awesome. It's all good. You can't go wrong with inviting the Sacred Heart and the Immaculate Heart of Mary into your homes. And we are here to help provide that opportunity for you. So jump on this, and we look forward to serving you. So
Yeah.
I know we've done it. We've done it.
Did it.
We've accomplished
Yes.
everything on our list
Woo!
that
Yes.
we desire to. So let's wrap this up. Again, Father Tuttle, thank you. Barb
Yeah,
Blocker, thank you for being with us
thank
today.
you.
And so until we see you again next Wednesday at 3 o'clock,
Yes.
we're going to be putting up a schedule because we're going to stay with this 3 o'clock time on Wednesdays, and we'll give you an idea of what's coming up.
Right.
So God bless you. Bon appetit until
Yes.
we meet again.
Cheers.
Cheers.